What's up guys, Ray here with a brand new AnimeBallZ segment for you. Well, I say brand new, but it's not really brand new. You see, I'm taking over the segment that Adam used to do, Superhero Time. But because, new host, and I want to broaden the horizons of the old segment from just covering Super Sentai to covering Tokusatsu in general, it kind of needs a new name, or at least that's what I thought it needed. So after, a couple of minutes of brainstorming new ideas with myself, I've decided that this new segment is going to be called Henshin. That was stupid. I'm never going to do those hand signals ever again. But the segment name still stands. It's going to be called Henshin. As I previously just stated, Henshin is going to be a segment for AnimeBallZ. It's going to be released on a fortnightly schedule like what Superhero Time was, but instead of covering Super Sentai, I'm going to be covering Tokusatsu in general. This includes Super Sentai, Kamen Rider, and pretty much any other Tokusatsu shows that I might happen to come across that I really like. I may even branch out into just, live action adaptations of anime. I'm not entirely sure just yet. I'm still working out the kinks on this segment now that people have let me off my leash. But that's for another time. Right now, let's focus on what Tokusatsu show I have to talk to you about today, which is none other than the original Kamen Rider series, which led to the creation of the franchise, and that is simply called Kamen Rider. So the story of Kamen Rider takes place in a world plagued by Shocker, which is a mysterious, terrorized organization. To further its plans for world domination, Shocker recruited its members through kidnapping, and then turned them into mutant cyborgs and then ultimately brainwashed them. However, one of their victims named Takashi Hongo escapes the clutches of Shocker before the final brainwashing, and he has his sanity and his moral conscience intact pretty much. So he uses the cyborg powers that he has from Shocker and uses them to fight against Shocker as the grasshopper-themed superhuman named Kamen Rider 1, who is also referred to as Kamen Rider Ichigo in English-speaking countries, I believe. Another of Shocker's victims, freelance photographer Hayato Ichimonji, is also saved by Kamen Rider Ichigo, and he goes on to become known as Kamen Rider number 2, which I can't remember what they refer to him as in English-speaking countries, so I'll put that at the bottom of this video. But yeah, basically, the two of them team up and they use their powers to basically fight against Shocker and stop them from taking over the world. And then eventually when Shocker was disbanded, they fought against the successor of Shocker, which was called Gel. Needless to say, Kamen Rider was a huge hit in Japan. It was the first show of its kind. I believe it actually predated Super Sentai by about 2, maybe 3 years, I'm not entirely sure. But yeah, it was a huge hit. In fact, the impact of the show actually resulted in a famous, or not so famous, a Japanese astronomer naming 2 mini-planets after the show. The first was 12408 Fujioka, who was named after Hiroshi Fujioka, who played Kamen Rider Ichigo, and the other mini-planet was 12796 Kamen Rider, named after the actual show. The story actually ran for over 2 years, spanning 1971 to 1973, and finished at a total of 98 episodes and 3 movies, I believe, which I'm pretty sure makes that the longest running single installment for a Tokusatsu series, to my knowledge, as each other Tokusatsu series since then, I believe, has only run for 1 year. It eventually did hand over the reins to the second installment in the Kamen Rider series, which was Kamen Rider V3. Following the theme of numbering the Kamen Riders, obviously Kamen Rider number 1, Kamen Rider number 2, and then Kamen Rider V3. But yes, Kamen Rider, it was the series that started the franchise. It's still going to this day. I lost track of what incarnation of Kamen Rider we're up to. Again, I'll put that in the bottom of the thing, but yeah, we're up to Kamen Rider Gaim now, which I will probably cover at a later date, but I forget what number. incarnation, that is. But yes, so I'm probably doing a terrible job of ruining Adam's original idea, but this series will continue to run, covering Tokusatsu series. Hopefully I'll get better, hopefully I'll get a little less nervous about talking about a subject matter that I don't really know that much about. I only got into Tokusatsu about a year ago now. But yes, hopefully you enjoy the segment, hopefully you look forward to new segments, and that's pretty much it. I'm Ray, this has been an episode of the new segment Henshin. Catch you on the flip side.